Okay, so I explained to the kids what this bonus point system is for the juniors, and now let's do a little practice for the MCA. So they're gonna give you this formula sheet, and you probably already know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You've heard of that one before, right? So let's try using it. Here's a typical easy question that's got that on there. 4, 5, and what? Would everybody use that a squared plus b squared equals c squared to figure out what that last side is? All right, I've got a shortcut way to do this that I'd like to show you too, but do your best, try to figure it out, and don't say the answer once you've figured it out. Just be quiet for a second and let people try. So I think some of you guys are trying to do this a really slow way. Let me show you the fast way. Since a squared plus b squared equals c squared, you have to square everything. And trust me, you want a square root of this squared and this squared, which is 25 and 16. And if it's the longest side, you would add them. How can you tell this is not the longest side? I know it's not the longest side. Did you guys remember that in a right triangle, the longest side is across from the 90-degree angle? Does that ring a bell? So this must not be the longest side. This side here, you'd use minus. Now that's a lot faster than using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, here's how you would have done it with a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You would have put in a is 4, and b is, I don't know, and c is 5 squared. And then you'd end up with 16 plus b squared equals 25. But actually, you end up with this. And that's the square root of 9, and that's 3. Who got 3 before I got there? All right, some of my top students. All right, let's do one more like that. It's a right triangle. This side is 2. This side is 7. This side is, hint, square root of. Can you do it fast? There's a really fast way to do this. If you were thinking 49 and 4, you were on the right track, you know, because they both have to be squared. Okay, and then should I add them or subtract them? Only add them if they're on the biggest side. That's the biggest side. That's the only place you'd add them. You subtract them. And so that means square root of 45. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Okay, if you haven't got this yet, I got to show you one more. 1, 7. Who knows? This way I just taught you, so much faster than usual. Square root of, Talon, give me one of those things squared.
49.
Yep. Excellent. And should I add them or subtract them?
Subtract.
Yep. So then this is square root of 48. And that's it. You're done. Hope you feel like you learned something there. Any questions? Okay, that's one thing that's on the MCAs and the ACTs. Here's another one. It's called the distance formula. And when I teach this, I teach it as the fight club. These guys are fighting. See, fighting is a negative thing. And notice it's an X against an X. And then these are also fighting. It's a negative thing, see? And fighting means you're squared up against the other person. That makes sense? And then the only thing that's really hard to remember is whether it's add or subtract in the middle. Just try to remember they're not all subtracts. The other ones are fights, so they're subtracts. Okay? So then, can you recreate that formula over here? I know you have it on your paper. I mean, use discipline. Don't look at it. Square root of was a fight. And it's another fight. I feel like you're not with me. Try writing the distance formula. Okay, Matea, give me your best shot. And you don't have to give them labels. You know why? Because we're going to square it anyways. So it doesn't matter if it's the x sub 2 minus the x sub 1 or the x sub 1 minus the x sub 2. Because if it was like 2 minus 5, that'd be 3. And this is like 5 minus 2, that'd be 3. Because when you square it, one's negative 3 and one's positive 3, and either way, they come out to 9. So moral of the story, you don't need little subscripts. It's quicker than that. You can just say x and x. Okay? Can you finish it? Plus y. Notice the fighting is the negative thing, and there's not all negatives. There's one positive. Okay, that's called the distance formula. Let's see if you can use these two numbers, 2 comma 5 and 8 comma 5, and I want to know the distance between them. I'll pause for a sec while you give this one a try. This is probably our last practice problem, so just stay with me. Try this practice problem. Give me your best for just another 2 minutes. So after this Schoology quiz, we're taking the Schoology quiz next, and then after we take the Schoology quiz, I'm going to hand the kids their test back that they took yesterday, and the only homework for the weekend is the Schoology quiz that we're doing in class right now. By the way, on Monday, you will have a little tiny Schoology quiz because it is an async day. Monday is not a day off. It's a day where you do school at home. And in my class, you'll be able to finish it up in 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes at the most. And that's all I got for the video for today.